Welcome to the One Gang Worldwide podcast, your ultimate ride into the world of motorcycles. Visit cyclesworldwide.com where we offer a completely free marketplace for everything motorcycles. Join our One Gang community where you can connect, share info, and swap stories with riders from all over the world. Join for free at cyclesworldwide.com and be a part of the One Gang community right now.
This man's not trying to be famous, he is just laser focused on building incredible Harley engines that run like monsters. In this episode, we sit down with Kenny McLain of Mean Street Cycles to talk about the grind, the glory, and what it really takes to keep a motorcycle shop alive. This year, Kenny's hosting his first Sturgis Buffalo Chip Show, Evo Entanglement, on Monday, August 4th.
I've been able to spread out worldwide. And I will say this, I cannot win them all. If you're listening to me today, these are engines. Things happen. I cannot win them all, but I will damn sure give it a try, right? And I will always honor what I do.
What's up, One Gang? We've got a great show for you here today. We got Kenny McLain of Kenny's House of Horsepower and Mean Street Cycles. One of the best engine gurus out there, man. Kenny, thanks so much, brother, for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's an honor.
Definitely excited to have you, man. So let's start at the beginning. Where'd you grow up? What kind of kid were you? What were your early interests? And before motorcycles clouded your judgment.
Man, well, I'm originally from central Kansas. That's where we're located again now. And I've been riding motorcycles since I was 6 years old. My cousin, Chuck, who we partnered with in this giant building, we've been riding since we were 6 years old. All my uncles, my grandpa, they always kept us on three-wheelers, go-karts, mini bikes. We started on PW50s back when they actually had steel gas plates on, right? And we're all country kids. And, as time went on, my parents, my mom's deceased. I never, great woman. Sorry. I love her. I miss her. She kind of took me away from this area. We moved somewhere else, kind of went down. My mom was a partier. My stepdad, biker, had a panhead. They did, the typical 80s, 90s biker party life, definitely hanging with some clubs and you know how it goes. So I wasn't the best guided child. I hate to say that, but, it took its toll on my life there. And I made some bad choices along the way and, got some trouble and, just wasn't really focused. I wish, I'll be honest with you, I wish that I would have started what I'm doing at about 18 or 19. Could you imagine the man I would be today on top of what I'm at now? But hey, everything has its time and place. I look at it like that. Everything's meant to be in a certain load. And it's pretty crazy because I got in some trouble, served some time many years ago. Haven't been in trouble since, been 25 years, been clean 25 years.
Awesome, brother. I
try to always encourage people to do, make good choices. The younger generation, I like to find the apprentices this is what I like to do. I like to encourage people that come here. I like to find the roughest of the roughest apprentices that are having the hardest time in life and maybe help them turn their life a little bit, turn it around where, hey, look what we're doing. I was in your position. I was making shitty choices in life. And, I didn't give, am I free to talk openly, cuss and everything?
Of course, man. You can talk however you want to talk.
I didn't give a fuck what anybody thought, to be honest with you. I just wanted to do whatever the fuck it was Kenny wanted to do. Whatever at the time. And, it took a long time for me to get into perspective of like, hey, I better start being fucking responsible, right? And, I've done fabrication work. I worked at a railroad car company for a long time, building railroad cars. I've laid thousands of miles of MIG-wire, and I'm pretty darn good at it. And I actually try to avoid welding as much as possible. So,
hey, before we get into too deep on the background, as a kid, what were some of your early interests that you were kind of that you took on? Like, did you have something that you kind of were passionate about at an early age?
Music. I was really into music, just traveling, things like that. I've always been kind of a nomad at heart. I do a lot of traveling.
What kind of music were you listening to?
Oh man,
Heavy metal?
80s metal, 90s metal. Oh yeah. Yeah, to the day, even being 46 years old, I still listen to metal music and still jam, and we still go to
I'm
concerts.
54. I'm still listening to metal music, so I get
Oh,
it,
yeah.
man. Ben's
Oh, yeah.
39, and he's listening to metal music. I know, it's crazy. Hey, so when did you originally start riding? How old were you at that point?
6 years old.
Shit.
Man.
Wow. Were you like? I mean, what you're doing now, obviously, which we'll get into in the show as the show goes. But I mean, what you're doing now, you have to be relatively mechanically inclined. Were you mechanically inclined as a young kid growing up, and like who kind of, or did you start picking that up later on in your age?
It's always kind of been natural, but I never really applied it. I've always been able to fix stuff, take stuff apart. I've got a pretty good photographic memory of how things go apart, come back together, or do take it apart and put back together. It's always been a big interest, but I just never really applied myself in the early years. Again, I was just kind of doing whatever I wanted and traveling and I didn't really start picking it up like this until about, I've been in this for 11 years, hardcore. So about 11 years ago, I really started taking on the Harley stuff. Always had an interest. My family's been nothing but Harleys. My biological dad, my stepdad, my mom,
Nice.
My aunt and uncle, the uncle that got us riding initially, my Uncle Mike, he got us on dirt bikes when we were small. My Uncle Kenny, he's a Vietnam vet. He was always on Harleys. I always enjoy looking at his pictures and seeing stuff from back in the past. And he had a really nice shovel head, and he always keeps on go-karts. And he was, it's odd because he owns Ken's small engine repair, and he does small, like weed eater, lawnmowers, and,
Right.
I'm getting out the horsepower. So, and it's fun to talk with him because he's like, man, you're doing everything I wish I would have done. And I'm thinking, man, I wish I was doing lawnmower engines. It seems a little more easy.
Right. That's so funny. That's funny. Huh?
It is. So you mentioned briefly, you talked a little bit about your career, your work life before Mean Street. Take us into that a little bit more. You mentioned railroad work. What else? What other kind of stuff were you doing before you opened up the case on Mean Street?
Oh man. Well, I started off, what was that, about 20 years ago? No, even further. Doing railroad car fabrication at a place here in central Kansas, and a lot of welding, a lot of fab work. We'd build railroad cars, hopper cars, dropping rocks, flour, all the dried goods, powdered style stuff. And for a long time. I did repos for a lot of years. I'm really good at repossessions. Even to this day, I still get asked about every 6 months to come back to work for that company. I was smashing it. Out of 1,200 employees, 21 offices, 13 states, I was always in the top 3 for the amount of asset recovery. And I've taken motorcycles, quads, motorcycles, side-by-sides, dune buggies, cars, trucks, helicopters, airplanes, yachts, boats. I've taken it all. Race boats, houses from people. I've taken cars from bank employees for that bank. It's wild. The stuff we've been involved in. I've been shot at, attacked. I've been through shit, and I just got so tired of it, after a while. And with that same company, we were doing government contracts down in Nogales on the border for Border Patrol. So any of the stuff that would come through the port of entry and get inspected, if they had a suspicion or found drugs in the vehicle, we would go down and take these vehicles and we would take them to the secondary station at the main port of entry to the secure facility for Border Patrol with these tow trucks. And we'd be secured, helicopter, multiple armed vehicles. We'd take it over, we'd tow it over, drop it.
Wow.
They would search it, tear it completely apart, and then call us back to come get it and store it in the lot. I have been threatened by Southern cartels directly to my face we want our vehicles back. I'm like, dude, the Border Patrol's already got it. They've already searched it, tore it apart. There's the way to worthless at this point, right? Like, so, I did that. Kind of got tired of it after a while. No offense to anybody that ever falls behind on their bills. I've been there. We've all been there. Life is tough sometimes, but after you deal with that, like, let's say you're out on the road and you drive 10 hours a day and you got 30 stops in a day. Well, everybody's got the same problem, and it just gets tiring hearing it, and all the aggression towards myself from these people. And I'm just a messenger, man. I'm just doing my job. You can't be mad at me. And don't act like you didn't know from the first time you didn't pay that payment that I wasn't going to show up. So it's like,
right.
You can't be mad. You're just mad right now because it's catching up with you. And, after a while, it got tiring. And I thought, I got to have a change of life. We were doing that Border Patrol stuff towards the end. And I kind of got tired of that after a while. And it was like, it's the same story with that stuff.
Kenny, let me ask you this, man. So you went basically from the railroad stuff, what you were doing as far as like welding and all the fabrication work, and then you went into the repossession business, correct?
For many years, yep.
For many years, so you did that. All right, so you finished up. You kind of got. It seems like what you're saying is you kind of got a little bit burnt out on it, where it was just kind of cooking you a little bit. So was that the transition into Mean Street Cycles? All right.
Yeah. So
and do us a favor. Walk us through the end of the repo side and how Mean Street Cycles became an entity that now for you to chase.
So towards the end of that, I had met my girlfriend now, and we got a place, and oddly enough, I was still doing that. And towards the end of the repossessions, I met my neighbor back behind, Russ Thomas, who is a multiple national championship AHDRA drag racer and engine. And he is very well known on the West Coast for building engines. Him and his teacher, Tim Horton, Mr. Big Tim, as we call him. And one day I was outside and doing something, and I heard this drag bike start up. And I'm like, holy shit, that thing sounds nasty. Who is that? So I go look over the fence, and it's Russ. And, I had never met him. And we had this really shitty neighbor that was in between us. Like, it was weird how this all transpired. And so for this, we ended up with a mutual hate for this neighbor, and we kind of bonded over it. And then next thing you know, I'm an apprentice over there, and I'm held, like, the first engine we ever did was a 1930 DL. And wow. I mean, how many people can say they started on a 1930 DL, right? And, people would come from all over for us, and they got to know me after a while. And basically throughout the years, Russ kind of turned me into the monster that I am today with this stuff. And even now, I just talked to him yesterday. I was making sure he was doing good, and he's like, hey, you're really kicking ass. But he taught me the right way to build an engine and go drag racing and have fun and get out and meet people. And throughout the years, shit, even now to this day, I'm still the apprentice to him, and still talks to me like I'm the apprentice. What are you, fucking stupid? And I'm like, before I left, he gave me some shit, and he's like, is everything you fucking have joke? And I'm like, yeah, because I got it from you, asshole. So we go back and forth, and beat up on each other. But in the beginning, I would never talk like that because I'm really focused on learning, right? And I'm like taking this abuse from him. And it's tough. These old.
What's up, One Gang? I used to think that if I spent big money on riding gear with a logo on the back, I was getting top quality. I gave Leather Up a shot. I wasn't sure at first, could I really get quality gear without spending a fortune? But after putting tens of thousands of miles on their jackets and vests, I had my answer. No busted zippers, no loose stitching, just solid, well-made gear that lasts. Leather Up carries trusted brands like Milwaukee Leather, Hot Leathers, and more, with gear for every rider and every budget. Plus, their customer service actually cares and picks up the phone, something rare these days. So do yourself a favor, check out leatherup.com. Whether you need jackets, vests, chaps, boots, helmets, or luggage, they've got you covered. And because you're part of the One Gang Worldwide family, use code CW20 at checkout for 20% off your entire order. Stop overpaying, gear up with Leather Up, and see the difference yourself.
engine builders.
What was the vision? What was the vision for Mean Street for you? Like you're doing this apprenticeship. You're doing this apprenticeship with one of the most well-known people in the drag racing industry, and from there you're transitioning into opening your own business.
So I apprenticed for many, many years, like 3 years solid, right? And we're making this happen. And my ultimate goal was to get out on my own and start doing this. And
Right.
I had a lot going on, a lot depended on it. I pretty much quit doing the repos, and my lady was working, and she knew I was going for education, and she supported it. We just started getting focused on it, and I'm over there every day. And then we moved into a commercial building, probably about 60 miles up the road. So we were going back and forth and really making the effort. But the cool part is when all this is going on, I'm meeting other people in Phoenix, and Mark Dunn from Done Right Bikes. If you ever get to talk to him, oh my gosh, you're going to love Mark. Mark and Tim and Tony from Ramjet Racing, he supported what we did in the beginning too. And even now, we still talk, and he supports it, and the feeling's mutual there. And, it just grew, and it grew bigger. And then I started meeting people throughout Phoenix, and it really kind of exploded for me. I started, no joke. A lot of people don't know this. Some do, some don't. When I started, we were living in a 2-bedroom mobile home, kind of in a rough neighborhood in Phoenix, rust behind us. And my little shop was only like 10 by 10, man. It was like being in a jail cell. And I started doing a little stuff here and there. Russ's shop was like, literally I could walk out my back gate and be right there at Russ's, right? So we were going back and forth, and as time progressed, he was like, oh, I'm kind of tired of doing it. So I took over, and I'm using his and plus mine and, space. And he ended up moving to Sturgis for a while with his buddy Phil, who is another big time drag racer back for that area. Right. And so I just started pumping him out and started doing the work. And next thing you know, his teacher's helping me. Russ's teacher, Tim, is helping me. We miss him dearly. These guys, man, they're building nitro bikes, they're building pro gas bikes, they're building stroker motor. Anything you could think of, these guys are getting after it, right? And it progressed into what it is today. And I started small, and then, we owned that house. So I was able to utilize, my shop went from 10 by 10 to, I built a complete awning on the side of the house, and we worked in that. And then I sold that place, made some good money, some smart choices. And then we got into a 4-bedroom there in Phoenix. I built a shop out back. It was a small 12 by 16 clean room. We had machines in another part of the area there, and another almost like not a lean-to. It was enclosed. It was air conditioned. A little shop on the side of the house there too. And it progressed, and then we got into this, and by making good choices. Now we're in a 40 by 80 located in central Kansas, and I've been taking engines, no joke. We send them all over the world. They come in from all over the world. When I first started and we were in that mobile home on the side of the hill, I never expected any of this. I had this attitude. I was naive in what really happens in the motorcycle world, because I was living this dream of, I'm going to be the best. I'm going to do, all the stuff that comes included when you first start riding motorcycles, working on them, thinking you're going to, really succeed. It has not been an easy journey for sure.
Kenny, small business is not easy by any means. So what like those grassroots years, what was that like emotionally? Like, you've gone through what happened. What about the fear, the courage, the finances? Take us into the finances. Take us into that kind of the emotional side and what that was like in those first, those grassroots years.
Because a lot of people don't understand what we have to go through, especially in the startup stages. So walk us through your business in the beginning of what you thought to what reality was.
Oh man. So initially I thought, I thought, I'm going to turn this into something more than it is. And, a lot of the years it wasn't easy. I was always, thankfully for social media these days, it's really progressed, and I've been able to use social media as, you found me on social media, right? So, it's been able to progress. Thankfully, I had that tool to work with. I actually, used the social media in the beginning because well, I'm just going to show them what I'm about. I'm going to use it as a resume for a job, right? So I'll start posting what I'm doing, posting the fun, posting the work. And I just started gaining more followers as it went. And I was like, well, this is going to be something. Okay, well, shit. All right. I'm on the right track. Right. So, and then I started, going to more events. And when I was in that little trailer house with that little shop, I built a Softail on the patio and I called it trailer trash. It had trailer trash painted right on the paint. And, oddly enough, I started winning bike shows with it. And
kidding.
I did. And Rick Nolan and Chris Vallone from Gentleman Cycles, they picked my bike. I won second place at the Shovel Evo class show for Bike Week in Arizona. And I was like, holy shit. I didn't think I'd win anything, right? And actually, it's funny because I told my stepson that day, I was like, let's shine the bike up. We'll take it over to the show. Where I took my lady, it was at the Steel Horse Saloon or something like that. I can't remember, in Phoenix. It was a well-known club bar. And we actually went on our first date there. And I said, well, let's go see if we can win something there. It's always been good luck for me. So we take the bike over and boom, we win, right? So then I'm like, holy shit. Well, now I'm on to something. So I keep working. I keep pushing. There's a lot of months where it was like a little bit of work. I wasn't really known. The social media was pulling it in. A lot of people say, well, social media sucks, but I've made hundreds of fucking thousands of dollars off of Instagram, Facebook, doing engines. I've been able to spread out worldwide. And I will say this, I cannot win them all. If you're listening to me today, these are engines. Things happen. I cannot win them all, but I will damn sure give it a try, right? And I will always honor what I do.
Hey, Kenny, let me ask you this. Hey, can I ask you a quick question? What kind of work? What kind of work was rolling in first for you when you first launched the social media stuff? What type of work were you bringing in to kind of keep the lights on?
Brake jobs, oil changes, handlebars. I can do all this stuff. It's not, I just try not to. A lot of stuff like that, doing tire swaps. Thankfully, a half a block from where we were at, we had moto tires. So a lot of the times I could just put the tires in the truck, the wheels in the truck, drive around the corner. Danny over there, he would do them for us. We'd bring them back. It was very efficient and fast. And I was able to stack my money up. We paid for that house pretty quick, that little mobile home we were in. And then it started turning into engine work because I was posting a lot of engine work. And people started coming around and, I had blast cabinets and I had blast cabinets. I had a lot of stuff at that time, a honing machine. Throughout the years, I was using Russ's honing machine, the cabinet, just taking portions of the money, and Russ would take the rest and you wouldn't even have to do the work. It was me doing it, right? So how could you go wrong? He was thinking. So I did a lot of this and the word spread like, hey, Kenny's a really good guy. He's a little grouchy, but he's good at what he can. And I was going through some rough times, and especially not a lot of people know this. I have a couple of daughters, don't really speak with them. We had some problems with her mom and I, their mom, it's part of life, dude. Their mom and I, we had a pretty good falling out, and, I don't know where they're at. It's not my business. They'll come around when they're ready. I got to keep focusing on me. No offense to anybody, but life doesn't stop even though you have problems, right? So I had a lot of anger built up through that stuff, and I just really focused on making the best of what I had in front of me and putting all of that energy, keeping the negative into some positive, and really moving forward and making really good decisions. And it kind of showed. I was a little grouchy throughout a lot of the process, but it actually helped define some things because people knew I wasn't bullshitting around, right? Like I would do my business, do what we got to do. We'd move forward. I ended up attending a lot of like different shows throughout the area, Choptown, the Howlin' Prowl. We did a lot of different stuff, and being in Arizona, there's so many bike shops that it's hard. When I left, this is no joke. I talked with my sponsors, Jay and Ari from Law Tigers. We got to talking, and I heard Ari say something to Jay one day about coming and getting a new list so he could start hitting these shops around the state. I said, hey, out of curiosity, how many shops are there? There's 612 motorcycle shops in Arizona.
Jeez, man. Talk about
Eight.
competition.
Right. So to be able to start from,
If you can make it in Arizona, you can make it anywhere, man.
you got to learn to adapt. That's the biggest thing, and learn to really go the extra distance. Make allies and not enemies for sure. And throughout the year, people will judge you. I'm gonna tell everybody this. If you're listening, y'all got to start somewhere. It's a matter of how far you want to take it and how much you want to put into it. Everybody starts on a patio. Everybody starts in a small shop. Unless you're, spoon-fed and blessed with lots of money and have a big building, you got to start somewhere. And just don't give up. Because, look, I went from that to this, and we're doing good, and now we're worldwide. I ship them everywhere. And I'm hosting the Evo Entanglement this year in Sturgis. It's something I was blown away. Joe up there asked me to do it. So you can go from starting out, you can do it in your dining room, for God's sakes. Just keep pushing. You'll get there.
Yeah, right on. So nowadays you specialize in Harley engines, which people get extremely particular about.
Yeah.
What makes building and tuning those motors so rewarding and or frustrating for you?
I like to figure out the problems. I get a lot of if you look back through my social media, you'll see I get some of the worst engines. I get basket cases. I get stuff that's blown up. I get the problem child engines, which I always tell people, they don't want to go home with you. They know they're going to be in the right place right here for right now until the time's ready. And I've had some really tough ones come through here. We've built some really oddball stuff. I've had engines that, got cracks in the cam chests that you would never see, and it's bleeding oil back into that. And you can't figure out why it's losing pressure on the top end. So I've been able to really submerge myself with the inner workings of panheads, knuckleheads, shovels, Evos, twin cams. Now I'm like one of the very few, there's maybe 10 of us that have Pro Mod M8s. I'll show you in the video here in a little bit what it's about. I've got a nasty turbocharged M8. We're looking at running like 790s in the quarter mile. That's 189, 180, 190 mile an hour pro stock speeds, right? On a straight legal one FXR.
Gosh, dude. What engines do you like working on the most? Out of like the pan shovels, what do you like working on the most, and where does your expertise lie? Sorry to interrupt your train of thought there.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I got to give this a lot of thought because they call me the Evo King. That's part of the reason I'm hosting the Evo show up there. I do a lot of Evo work. I really enjoy them. I know how to get a lot of power out of them. I can make them look nice. I can make them look rough, however you want it. Shovel heads. I do like working on shovel heads. They're always a challenge throughout the early years, like the 66 through 72, they've all got a lot of mixed match stuff that came through the Harley factory and the engineers and the weird stuff. So it's kind of a challenge. As for panheads, they're okay. I hate to insult. I can do them and I am good at them, but they're not really my thing. I don't think I'd ever really want to own one, to be honest with you.
Why? Let me ask you why. Why do you say that?
It's always something with them. It's always something. You're constantly maintaining them. As time has gone on, the parts have been harder to get. You can't find a lot of good quality parts for them at this point. You're stuck with Eastern, V-twin. I've had pretty good luck with the Eastern parts for the most part, but S&S and gyms, and they're all kind of obsoleting these things out. So it's getting pushed out and getting harder to get parts for. Basically they say the shovel head's the next pan head when it comes to the cycle of how these things work and the like focus on them throughout the motorcycle community. I really like, and my biggest thing is I like to take something really ugly. You take an old pan or an old knuckle that's been sitting a really long time, and I like to get it all apart. We offer vapor honing, the wet blasting process. I like to take stuff that looks old and turn it into something new, like just really nice, back to the way it looked when it came from the factory. That's huge for me.
Kenny, I'm an Evo guy myself, man. Love Evos. I wanted to ask you, man, just Always been curious. What kind of power can you get out of a true Evo? What have you done? Because you're an Evo expert, so for me, it's a very intriguing question to ask because I love Evos myself. So, what kind of horsepower are we talking about that you can get on an Evo that you can ride? And I'm not talking about just strictly race, but ride.
Depends on the size of the Evo. I like the 80-inch engines. I can pull quite a bit out of the 80 inches. Depends on the combination. I send a lot of 80 inches out all over the world. I try to squeeze about 85, 90 horsepower out of them and still make them pretty reliable. Deck the heads, pop up pistons, depending on what you're using. Nice big fat 585 style cam. Just did one for Adam Herrick out of Phoenix. Man, what a beast that thing is. Can't even keep the tire.
You like the 585 cams for the Evos, right? You think that they're the best cams made for that bike?
It varies on kind of how you ride. I'm a big believer in Lineweber cams, do a lot of Lineweber stuff. They work really, really well, produce a lot of power. Those guys really have it figured out. S&S, that's my next step. And then I use a lot of Andrews cams. My go-to cam, they're the best. In the end, I will say this, sorry to the rest of y'all, but I'm a firm believer in Andrews. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of guys too. Yeah. One of my favorites with those is the EV38. They are discontinued, but man, that thing screams, right?
I remember that.
I had in my top tail, I had an 80-inch with a 38 in it, and we were spraying a 40 shot on it, 50 shot, and I was never outran in Phoenix except for Miguel from Lane Splitters, and he had to spray on me to get me on his twin cam. And yeah, that little 80-inch screen was real reliable. I use a lot of those Andrew style cams. I like the 46. A lot of people don't know this, but a lot of these companies that are selling cams these days, they'll go not Lineweber or S&S, but a lot of outside companies like bike shops, et cetera, will use Andrews to cut their cams, but they'll rename those cams on a contract basis. And you don't even know you're using an Andrews cam. You just know that it's something, and you think it's from them, but it's really from Andrews, and they had Andrews design it, or they designed it and had Andrews print it. So a lot of people don't know that they're the biggest cam manufacturer for Harley-Davidson on the planet, right? Even the twin cam stuff you think. And the M8s are Andrews cams too. I'm not going to mention it, but I know this one company. I like their cams. We've done really well together, but in the end, it's an Andrews cam. And that's one of the reasons I like to mess with them a lot, because I know that they use a good quality product from Andrews. And it's a forced induction cam. We're going to release it here pretty soon. What I'm using in this bike, I'll mention who it is. But, when it comes to the Evos, you can squeeze a lot out of them. I prefer the 80s for a reliable engine. You could take it anywhere in the country, keep running. I don't know if you've seen on my post about a year and a half ago, I ran an 80-inch Evo in my test stand for 56 minutes with no oil in it.
With no oil in it? Damn.
I did.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
So, I had some customers. It's happened. It's happened to everybody that builds engines. You can't say that it doesn't. If you build engines, you put them in a crate, you send them out. Well, these guys are responsible for knowing how to put these things in and hook up the oil lines. And I've had guys hook up the lines wrong. So that's also part of the program that we've been able to revise on how we send these out in the crate and the instructions that we put with them.
Right.
I had a gentleman hook up his case vent tube out of the bottom of the right-hand case and the cam chest vent tube out of the top above the oil pump to a T-block to an oil bag, a chopper oil bag that had no vent in it, right? So where's all this internal atmospheric pressure going? And the case pressure, right? So what happened was, time went on, he ran this like this for a brief period, I guess. It cavitated all of the journals. It cavitated the lifters, the push rods. There was no oil flowing in this thing. It was all airlocked. So it starts pushing stuff out. He took it out. We dealt with it. I showed him what he did. Hey, look, this is what you did. Whatever, right? But it was kind of an example of how long an engine could really run without much oil in it. So we started off by turning on the valve on the stand, let it go. I filled it up with oil. I let it fill itself up. Usually inside of a crankcase, you get about 8 to 10 ounces of oil. That's what sits in the bottom of your flywheel cavity area. And then there's probably a good amount inside your cam chest, right? So then I shut it off. And I let it pump all the oil right back out of it. And I ran that thing for 30 minutes the first time. And then 56 minutes total, I think it was, or somewhere around that. I have to go back and look. But it was 56 minutes. And what's really funny is I shut it off, let it cool down, and it started right back up.
That's killer, man.
Yeah.
You think your pan head's going to do that? You think your level head's going to do that?
No, I don't think so. So. Hey, here's an interesting one. In a world full of YouTube experts and bolt-on culture that we live in, what do you think people are getting wrong about building reliable performance, in your opinion?
It all lies within, my opinion, it all lies within your headwork and your cam choice and your piston choice. All of this stuff has to be a good combination. You can't just grab a cam off the shelf and put it in and do a little headwork and expect it to be right. A lot of it depends on how a person rides too. So when I get a customer, I say, how do you ride? I got to ask you, do you haul ass?
Good. That's important.
It is very important. Do you ride down the highway? Do you ride through the city? Do you putt around? I need to know where these torque ranges are going to be and where your RPM band's going to be. I had a customer outright tell me one time, I said, how do you ride? And he goes, well, I'll be honest with you. This engine's going to get dropped from 4,000 RPM right out of my driveway, and it's going to live its whole life like that. And I went, oh, so I need to build you pretty much a drag motor. And he's like, yeah, I guess that'd work. And I set it all up the way it needed to be set up, and it's doing its job. A lot of guys will just, they'll make that choice for you. They'll sell you that choice when it comes to selling parts. A lot of shops have to sell parts, right? So part of the gig
so
of paying
they push more than what the actual person is asking for. Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much, or not enough. They're just selling parts to sell parts, and they start installing them. These guys don't have dynos. They don't really know what it's going to produce. So you have to do a lot of math. When it comes to building an engine, you pretty much need to blueprint how it's going to operate. That's something we offer as a service. I have an old school computer. It still runs on Windows 98, I think. And it still operates to this day. It's got a dyno calculator program on it. And I value this computer like I would fight you over this thing for sure. You plug in your cam, your valve sizes, and you can blueprint this engine. It's going to tell you what your horsepower you're producing, what your ranges are. So I like to include my customers in this and say, hey, look, here you go. This is what we blueprinted for you. If this works for you, let me know. A lot of guys don't offer this service. They just buy bolt-on stuff and, just put a 128 kit and, no offense, Bryce Star, love your products. Put a Star 3030 in it, because a lot of guys get stuck in what I call brand boys. Let me ask you this. The first hot rod cam most people think of, what do you think of? What's the biggest brand name you see pushed?
For cams, for motorcycles?
Yes.
I'd have to say Andrews, or Jim's, right?
Woods. Everybody goes right to the wood for whatever reason. And they are very good cams. They are drivetrain beaters. They will beat the shit out of your lifters, but they produce a lot of power. I ask a lot of people, what cam do you know? What cam do you like? Automatically survey out of hundreds of people I've asked, a lot of them go right to Woods. That's Woods, huh? Especially the twin cam. The twin cam stuff a lot. They go right to the Woods cams, the Night Prowlers. They know it by the
because of cost? Is it because Woods is a little bit more affordable than the others?
I don't really know. I think a lot of it is because of branding and how stuff gets pushed out, and focused on social media, websites, word of mouth. A lot of it comes out like, I think I call them brand boys because they focus on brands and not trying to explore the options that are hidden. Area 51 racing cams, amazing cams. They are absolutely top-notch cams for twin cam, but they don't advertise. Most people push what is the brand. And the consumer end of things, what gets me is their Facebook cruising, Instagram cruising. They see Woods, they see Woods, there's a couple others out there. The turbo systems the same way. A lot of people are making turbos now. I know 2 guys out in Phoenix, both amazing turbo manufacturers. You got Trask, you got CMPC.
Trask is incredible.
Right. And Nick builds a good product. And, there's CMPC too. Both building quality products, but Trask has a lot of marketing money and he's been able to push it out there and build a huge brand. So when the first person you see that says, well, I want a turbo. Okay, well, what turbo do you think you'd want to put on this? Trask. First thing's Trask. That's amazing, right? And it's the way he's marketed it is amazing. And he does build quality stuff. We actually outran Nick in Sturgis. We had a grudge race in Sturgis and I beat him, all motor.
Really? Killer, man.
Yeah. I think I would love to do it again, Nick. If you're seeing this, let's race. It's fun. That was a lot of fun. Like in Sturgis, a lot of things come out to like that. There's also in the chopper world, the first things people say, TC Bros, lowbrow customs, because they have such a big marketing campaign. That's the first thing they go for instead of going through like, the small shop, the small guy that's building something. They could go 4 blocks down the road and hit up chopper builder guy down the road and he could build them something, but a custom or whatever, but it's so much easier just to buy a brand that's already
for sure. I mean, most people, you know how it is in the industry. I mean, anybody who rides motorcycles, they don't want to wait. They don't want to be waiting for a part to be made. I mean, it's all instant, let's get this thing on and let me hit the road. So it's a little bit hard. I get what you're saying, because we've had a few guys on who are chopper builders and who build their own parts, like Fish from Alleyway Customs and Cody from Trader Cody's. So I get what you're saying, though, as far as that. It does make a lot of sense.
It's hard for guys that are small business to compete with all that marketing money, right? But remember, those guys started small too. So Absolutely. It's a matter of how to figure out how they got there. And some will tell you, some won't. And so, I think they probably told people so many times over the years that it falls on deaf ears, and there's only very few that end up making it, like myself with Russ. I know he had 20 or 30 apprentices, and maybe 3 of us have turned into what we are today. The other guys, I don't really know them all that well.
Right.
I don't have tons of marketing money. I've got, I'm just living and trying to have fun and just show my work. The right people come along for sure.
That's right.
Hey guys, the show will be back in 1 minute right after a word from our sponsor.
Hey, One Gang, tired of feeling like your butt's taking more of a beating than your bike on those long rides? Introducing Butt Buffer, the ultimate solution to saddle soreness. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. These cushions are made from medical-grade viscoelastic polymer, scientifically crafted to eliminate pressure points and keep your circulation flowing. No more numb nuts or numb butts. And here's the best part. Butt Buffer cushions are made right here in the U.S. for the last 30 years. From Harleys to Hondas, we've got a cushion to fit your ride perfectly. Plus, with styles ranging from sleek pebble polymer to luxurious sheepskin, there's a Butt Buffer for every rider's style. Get your Butt Buffer today at buttbuffer.com. That's buttbuffer.com. Your butt will thank you, and you'll ride longer and happier. We've got your butt covered.
I wanted to ask you if there's been a specific project or customer bike that really stuck with you, something that you're proud of or pushed your limits.
Oh man, we've done so much cool stuff.
I know.
Smiley, my bro Smiley from Phoenix. He is a pretty good guy. He really helped me break out into the I'll start with this real quick with it, do a little brief with it. So my teacher, he's, these old school biker dudes, the real old school biker dudes, there's a division between white, black, Hispanic. It sucks. It's almost political, like somewhat. It really sucks. But as time grows, that norm was going away, right? So
Absolutely.
me being a very open, opportunistic person, I don't hate, judge, or anything like that. We encourage and empower, every race, religion, female, male, I don't care. I tell everybody you could be transgender. As long as you come here, you're going to be respected. As long as you show respect, you'll get the respect. If you love motorcycles, we'll do great, right? And Smiley, he has got to be one of the best customers we've ever had. Great guy, just a dad living in the hood, trying to do it big within the African American motorcycle community. I got to tell you, those guys spend a lot of money on their motorcycles, and they spend a lot of money on hundreds of thousands of dollars on these bikes. And Smiley says, we've got the national races coming up for the Soul Brothers MC. I want to do it big. In Phoenix, there was an event called Sunday Fun Day, and on one of the main roads, it's a side street, but it's off of a main road. There'd be like 300 of us that would gather up and line both sides of the road, and we'd all drag race out there every Sunday. And the cops never said a word. A couple times they shut us down, but never like arresting us or messing with us. Man, we were doing blower bikes, turbo bikes, nitrous bikes, and we're running these up and down the road. And these cops are sitting there watching us going, yeah, right. I'm like, dude, I just clipped like $140 down a side street and you pulled me over. Oh, yeah, all right. But he wanted to do it big at the ring. And I said, bro, let's build you something really nasty. And we ended up building him a 127 at 711 lift on it would run on pump gas, but we were running it on like 100 octane, unleaded, out of the can, having fun with it. Man, this bike, yeah, dude, this thing, I'll send you the video of it. Actually, you probably see it on my using a square one pipe on it. It was a Revolution Performance 127 kit. I decked the heads. I told him, man, you need to start shopping around. Oddly enough, for a set of heads, another shop in town that I did a lot of business with, Iron Horse Cycles. They had a big sale going on. They were selling off all their parts out of the Connex box, and we found a set of CNC ported twin cam heads. And I was like, you need those like right now. And so we got this stuff built up. Dave took it all back. Our other friend, Bubba certified on Instagram, stunt rider, great guy, great builder. Love you, kid. Keep pushing. They got this bike ready. And this actually was like right before I left Phoenix. They took $22,000 in wager money in one night running other motorcycles, M8s, Evos, twin cams. They were stomping their asses. That's probably been one of the funnest. They were betting it big out there, man. If you watch street racing and you see that, they're always got the money. They're always, betting shit. And,
Right.
It was pretty fun to see these guys, Smiley, get a huge win. And that's been one of the funnest ones.
That's cool.
Another one we did, I'd probably have to say,
Hey, go ahead. You were saying you probably have to say what?
Oh, I was going to say another one I did, Vanilla Cycles. I build a lot of engines for them, and they build a lot of custom motorcycles, and they take them and they show them a lot. And they've done a bunch of winning. And Duke Butler from the Butler Gang, we built a pan hit for him, and it's made Easy Rider, Cycle Source. It's won over 30 bike shows. Very, very satisfying bike called the Dreamsicle. What an amazing bike! But everything else,
the Dreamsicle. I've seen that bike. It's a badass bike.
I've
seen that bike on the covers. Yep, that's killer, man. Good job. Hey, well, listen. This kind of is an interesting question because you've seen the ups and downs of the industry. So, as a small business, especially now the last few years that you've really been making a name for yourself out there, how do you keep the lights on when the winter hits or business slows? Well, what kind of things are you turning to? Because I don't think a lot of people who don't have their own business understand that there's peaks and valleys of owning a small shop. So take us a little bit into that type of stuff. Like, what do you do to bring on additional income if projects are a little bit slow?
In the beginning, I'm always booked. Now I'm blessed to be always booked for the most part.
Awesome.
Awesome. There's a waiting list. Yeah, man, it's a great problem to have. And some days I wake up and I'm like, oh no, another engine. But you know what? I'm tired of worn out like the rest of us. it.
Sucks getting older, man.
I'm telling you,
Everything hurts.
yes, and lifting these engines, I gotta say, I see all you guys out there, you young bucks, picking these engines up, taking pictures with them. Well, that's one of 3 times you're allowed in your life to do this before you start having back problems. And
That's right.
I've lifted hundreds, thousands of engines in and out of bikes and onto the floor and into freight. It is not easy work, and you're going to have back problems over time. A lot of the stuff I do to supplement my income, I also offer vapor blasting. I ran vapor blasting by design as a secondary business in Phoenix for many, many years. I was one of the first guys to offer wet blasting services in that area. We started a whole side business on it. My lady ran it. She did all the blasting. It also coincided with the Harley stuff. So we initially started off by buying machines for that. And then we're like, well, geez, like we should start offering this as a service. So we did. And that progressed. It grew. 5 years I ran that business. Did pretty well. We were doing about $80,000 a year out of that.
Nice.
And oh yeah. And my apprentice Marcus, he says, I'd like to buy a turnkey business. And I said, well, hey dude, I've got a lot going. Plus I have one of those laser cleaning machines, and I started a whole business around that. Awesome. And I love that machine. It's amazing.
Well, what is that laser cleaning?
Oh, it's so cool.
What is it?
Have you seen that, Ben?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I'm obsessed. So you've got a high-powered laser that I think you need a license for in most states, and it's powerful enough that it will clean rust off of steel. It'll clean really any part, make it look brand new, and it makes the most satisfying sound on the planet. It's like Star Wars on steroids. It's and it's amazing.
That's killer.
It is so cool, man.
Yes.
Which laser do you have?
So I use an SFX BLC 2000. I've been selling things around the country too, and Kohler Manufacturing bought 25 of them from us.
Heck yeah.
I do demonstrations for companies. I'll go out here and there. I try not to because I'm so busy here, but I like to get the company that we do this for, Zach Laser. They'll send corporate over here to the shop or to out there, and we'll give them a demonstration and then go from there. But I do a lot of vapor blasting, cleaning, cylinder honing, head work, valve jobs, case repairs, things like that. All coincides with the engine building, but I take a lot of that stuff in boxes from all around the country. Rob Boyce, the Crazy Gentleman podcast, he just sent his top end over. We took care of him. Yeah, we took care of Rob. We did a podcast with him a couple of years ago, and I just took good care of him with it, And if you guys ever need anything, give me a holler. I'll help you out.
Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that very much.
And I do a lot of that. I don't really sell merch. I'll make shirts here and there, but I like to let my work do the talking, and it
shows, man. It shows. You got a strong following. Got an excellent reputation in the industry. I mean, we've talked to guys on the shows, even off camera, and your name has come up from time to time. So that's a good sign. And that comes from good people too. So, that was one of the reasons why we decided to start researching and kind of a hold of you, was because your name kept popping up. So we're like, okay, let's see what this is all about.
Yeah. And Kenny, when things do go right for you, those wins, those perfect dyno pulls, that kind of stuff, what does that feel like for a guy like you who stayed true and believed in himself, no matter what speed bumps you passed?
Man, I got to tell you, being able to get out there, build a quality engine, watching it run, watching it heat cycle, watching it leave, watching these guys, this is what I really enjoy. I like to watch these guys put their engines in, build their bikes, take them to the show, and win. I'm helping you win. If I can help you get a win, that's awesome, right?
Heck
and
yeah.
Awesome, I'm winning too. I'm winning too, right? If you go to the show, I tell this people all this time, I never get invited to big shows. I never get invited, but it doesn't matter because I'm already there. I already got 7 bikes here, 7 engines there. So I'm already in the show. You just can't, you're just hating on me because I was just a little guy, right? I'm not in with the cool guy crowd, right? But it's huge for me. And being able to go to the drag races and outrun big name guys and $1 million, dude, we have outran 5 shops that produce well over $1 million a year, and they have drag bikes. And at the end of the day, I'm the one still running where I'm right. Awesome. So we went to Verona, California and did some racing, and there was like 2 or 3 speed shops there that produce quite a bit of money each year, and they got a really big name. End of the day, my vintage bike was the run still running, and we were still making passes as they were all leaving, and it's huge. And it's being able to do that, being able to pull power out of stuff, see where we're at with numbers and keep going and try to increase is amazing. We've worked with Dan Wilson, Motor Witch. Have you heard of him?
Yeah, but we had him on the show yesterday, man.
Yesterday, literally.
We literally had him on the show yesterday. That's so funny that you even brought him up.
Man, I've known Danny a long time.
He's a guru, and he's a hell of a guy too, man. He's a good dude.
We have worked together.
He's an engine guy, man. He's a master tech.
Oh yeah, we have worked together. My shop was actually 2.5 miles from his shop, so a lot of people don't know this. You can see the Motor Witch Industries right there on the wall.
Yeah, that's so cool, man. What are the odds?
Right, we've worked together. Man, when before he worked for Buddy Stubbs, he was at another shop, at another facility. I can't remember what it is, but we just kind of somehow met each other and started talking, and we got along pretty well. And when he was at Buddy Stubbs, I was only like 1.5 miles from Buddy Stubbs. That's where our house was, on the hill there. And I started doing things for Buddy Stubbs, and we got to know Danny a little bit as time went on, and helped push some product for him. And I believe in it. And then he opened up Motor Witch Industries, which was actually the Collective Phoenix in the beginning, and he was right there by us. And all the vintage work that would come through the door, they would be like, just talk to Kenny. He's the one, he's the guy. And then what I was doing for a long time was sending all of the later model work down there. So we were trying to really, help each other out. And, I was selling parts through drag and helping the cause there and helping as much as I could. And man, I've learned a lot from Danny. I actually, right here on the floor in front of me, I have an engine that him and I kind of did together. I built it in my shop, and I was not versed with M8s all that well, right? And
yeah,
I didn't get any schooling for it. I got it from Danny. And I took this home, and he actually sponsored in a kit. I still paid for it. It wasn't free, but I bought it, sponsored kit, and took this engine home, and I built, because I'm the only guy on the planet with a Kenny Boyce with an M8 in it right now. Lefevre Cycles building one, and a gentleman out of Australia is building one. But I was the first guy to stuff an M8 in a Kenny Boyce Pro Street chassis. And he was a part of this. And Chris from FXR Division and Justin from Torch were a part of this. And we took Danny's engine out. Basically, I shouldn't say just necessarily him. I was a big part of this. I did put it together. But I took that engine down there, and I said, Danny, take it apart and tell me what I did wrong. Well, in the end, I only got 3 washers backwards, and that wasn't nothing on a couple of covers, right? And he's like, you did a really good job. And so we took that engine, put it in the bike, and we were running 1001s on pump gas with this thing, 91 octane, running 10s with this bike. And it wasn't even all the way tuned yet. So, he's been involved with this. I'm glad you got him on the podcast. That's amazing. It's well deserved for him, and he's a guru with
Kenny,
it.
You're kind of touching on this a little bit. Hey, I wanted to ask you, man, because I think it's important, because now you're learning about the M8s. You've kind of transitioned through your career. Obviously you have your strong points and so on. How do you keep up with the tech and the trends, the new parts, or do you kind of stick to more to what you know best, or are you pretty open to take on anything?
Oh man, I can do M8s. I can do M8s, twin cams. Vintage isn't my only thing. Most people know me for it because I'm pretty good at it, but now that I've been able to get through them and get versed in them, I can definitely do them. I prefer to actually do more M8 and twin cam these days. It's a lot easier. It stacks up quicker.
Is it?
I like it. Well, the flywheels are pressed together, first of all, so they just come in and out. That's it, right? And you can just replace them or send them off, put them back in. there's a lot of hands-on work when it comes to flywheels. I got to sitting here on the stand now that need to be done. And, it takes longer because you got to go through all that process. You got to do the honing, you got to do the fitting, you got to do the truing. You don't do that with twin cam. You buy them out of the box, kind of like the bolt-on kits. People don't have to own cylinders anymore. If they do, they just send them to the machine shop. Well, we offer all of that. And I try to stay up on the technology through like ThunderMax, Impact Wiring Solutions, all the computer stuff, the engine management stuff. I really try to pay attention. Baker Drivetrain, all their transmission.
Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite for the engine management systems? Who's your favorite one that you like?
ThunderMax has been pretty good to
ThunderMax?
us. Yes. We've done really well with that M8 standalone unit from NAMS. It's Jeff over at NAMS. He got with us.
We had him on the show. Jeff is awesome.
We had Jeff on too.
I've seen that. Jeff's pretty smart guy, man, and he's been good to us.
Dude, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So he got involved with this because all that bagger stuff was coming up, the bagger racing, Moto America bagger racing. Well, I'm one of the few doing drag bikes, and we built this bike, and Jeff wanted to be a part of it. So we've been using that ThunderMax unit in there, running some pretty good numbers on that on pump gas. And it's that standalone kit is absolutely amazing. You don't need it just for racing. It can be on choppers. It can be on all kinds of stuff, test stands, whatever you want it to be. Our next step, unfortunately, I have to take the ThunderMax off. I have to move to a Max ECU system because when you see this, you're gonna, here, I'll show it you a little bit here. I have to move towards that. It gives a lot more options. This is a Pro Mod 143 MA, finless cylinders, stage 4 heads. It's pretty big beast inside, but this is, see if I can get it in the camera here a little bit for y'all.
Kenny, is that built for racing or is that built for street too?
This is actually just my Kenny Boyce race bike. And
okay.
We put a massive turbo system on it, Baker transmission, custom turbo by Carter Schropp. Man, gorgeous. Oh, this thing, it's going to be pretty insane.
Yeah,
we'll be running
sick,
so the problem is when you start messing with engines that pull a lot of air, pull a lot of fuel, these M8s produce a lot of, they can pull in a lot of air and produce a lot of power, right? You tend to starve them with a turbo. So you need extra fuel to top end. Unfortunately, the ThunderMax stuff cannot produce what I'm looking for out of that. So we have to move to a Max ECU system. And you could turn this thing into like, I don't know if you know much about them, but you can run it as a 2-cylinder, but you can operate the injectors as a 4-cylinder. So I can put the two injectors in the intake manifold and then add 2 more injectors into the plenum. So later in the run, it'll turn on the extra 2 injectors so it doesn't starve out for fuel and lean out. So there's a lot of options. It gives boost control. There's like knock control. There's data logging. So I can record like, let's say the clutch basket is spinning faster than the rear wheel. So you can go in, you can collect all that data through the sensor, and then you can push engine management and it'll manage all of that for you and make it where it doesn't do that anymore. This thing's really on top of it, right? And
man, technology's fucking amazing, man.
Oh man. Mm-hmm. Do you know who A1 Mike is? Mike Beeland over there?
Yep.
Okay. Mike is really good at racing and I admire what he's doing. And he's the one that turned me on to this Max ECU system. And he's like, Kenny, you're going to find that you're really going to need this. A couple other guys did too. Aaron from Thunder Valley Cycles, him, out in Phoenix, he was all about it too. And we're moving into it. That's the last piece I need. Again, we're small business, so it takes me a minute to save up. Of course. Trying to get there, but by the end of summer, I think we should be pretty on point to be running some pretty good numbers in that cool fall air out here. And with the Sturgis stuff coming up, that obviously puts me on a hold because that's going to be a pretty expensive trip. Taking campers to Sturgis. I finally get to glamp in Sturgis instead of sleeping on the ground for one.
I know, that's killer, bro. That's killer. That's funny.
But we like them both. We like the NAM stuff. They gave me a really good start out. And I'll forever run it. I'm building another. Not many people know this. I have another Kenny Boyce chassis, a roller out back that I got from Timmy at Martian Machine Company. I recommend you check him out too. Him and Tyler are amazing. They have gone from like nothing to something, man. They are amazing. Whole product line out there, and custom welders and fabricators. They're down in Wichita, Kansas, just about 60 minutes from us. And I picked up another cool voice from him, and I'm going to chop it up and do the same thing, but I'm not going to make it a drag bike. I'm actually going to make a St. Louis D-rake with an M8 in it. And I'm going to do something people haven't done. Yeah, so I'm going to take that NAMS kit out and stick it on that one. And then I'll move it. But, I try to make sure to recycle the program and keep moving forward. And I can't let these guys outdo me.
What's your goal? Hey, what's your goal with this new one? With that you're putting the M8 and the NAMS kit in it? Is it going to be more to take it kind of to shows and enter it and see what kind of responses it gets?
I'm going to ride the shit out of this thing and be happy with it. I'm going to take it to
Good. That was the answer I was hoping you'd say.
It's so hard to get parked on the road anymore. Like, I admire guys that want to ride their pans and shovels long distances, but the problem is when you break down, you broke down. Like, you got to call somebody. It's kind of like, it's a tough one to fix on the side of the road.
You can't take it to your local shop. I know, because not many.
Right. Even the Evo too. So it just kind of makes sense because I really want to put some miles on and get down to Florida, get down to Texas, get out to the East Coast. I will come see you. Absolutely. And, I'd like to get some miles in and have something that I know that's going to be where I can get parts while I'm on the road, and something I know that's going to be 100% reliable. No offense to the pans and shovels and stuff, but
no, it's the truth is the truth. I mean,
yeah. So talking about other builders, what's your take on this new generation of builders, the next generation? Are they hungry enough to learn the stuff and do it the right way, or are we losing some connection?
We are losing some connection for sure.
Really? Okay. Interesting.
I think so.
Why do you say that?
Man, well, some of them just don't want to work. That's the problem, is they want the glory, the Instagram, the social media credit glory. Oh, hey, look, I was over at such and such place, or oh, my videographer followed me around and took video of me. Like, now I'm popular. It's like, that's cool and all, but like, are you really into this? Can you do this? Like, can you build your bike from the crate pin out? Can you, I shouldn't say build, but your engines, you assemble them and you got to machine them and build them, right? So can you do this from the crate pin out? Do you have the tools? No. Okay. So you've got to find somebody that's got the tools, befriend them, or even pay them. I suggest, like, definitely pay them somehow, even if you befriend them. Always support your friends' businesses. And a lot of it comes down to things have become so easy to be a parts changer and not an actual like engine builder, just an engine assembler. It makes things different.
Builder.
I've had a bunch of apprentices over the year, and oh man, over the last 5 years, well, I really say since COVID hit, people have gotten weird. Nobody wants to work. This is what I do every day. From the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, it's motorcycles. And, rotating around it, you have to be dedicated. And a lot of these guys, they're not dedicated. They want the stardom. They want the Insta glory, the automatic social media credit. So I don't know, man, like, it's going to be dwindling away along with, the EV.
As we call it, instant gratification, right?
Yes. And it's as EV vehicles progress, things are having issue, like the younger community is like focusing on a lot of like earth friendly stuff. Like, I burn 116 leaded. I can't tell you how many times I've said that shit to people and they're like, ugh, like you're still polluting the environment. Fuck yeah, I am. And, not in a bad way. I'm just saying, we're trying to keep that hot rod stuff alive. Hot rods are on the dwindle in the world in general. It's trying to get younger community and crowds into motorcycles and hot rods these days. It's a hard task. There's chosen few.
Hey, Kenny, can I ask you a question? Let me ask you a question, but if you could go back and give yourself one piece of advice when you were starting Mean Street Cycles, what would it be? Knowing what
take
you
a course.
know and going through the things you've gone through, what kind of advice would you have told young Kenny as he was getting into this?
Ooh, that's a good one. Don't be so naive to customers and the weird games they play, because I've been through a lot of it. And that's something that MMI also doesn't teach you. A lot of guys have the mindset of, I'm going to learn all this and I'm going to do all this and it's going to be great. The customers become involved. And you got to learn to push through customers, the attitudes. Don't be so naive to the stuff that they do. Stand your ground, because we've all been through it. You know, it's definitely tough, but I probably would have done this a lot sooner. Like when we were first talking, I wish I would have started this when I was about 18 or 19. Man, look how far I would have come now. I would have been around in the Arlen Ness days, and I'd have been around in definitely, I'm friends with Kenny Boyce now, you know, and we still talk here and there. And, you know, I had the chance to buy the company. I would make a lot smarter decisions when it came to how I pushed this business, I guess. I should have focused on some advertising like we were talking a little bit earlier, but I probably would have been a lot bigger. But I think it all happened for a reason. And, you know, man, that's a tough one. I'm happy where I'm at. I really can't, I can't complain. It's been a pretty good journey.
All right. Yeah, that's great, man.
Right on. So when you're not in the shop, what clears your mind and gives you that reset you need every now and then?
I like to fish. I like to fish a lot. And, I don't do it enough.
Nice.
That was just so calm. I love it, man.
I still play PlayStation even at 46, and you know, it's a good end of the night cap to go in and kind of relax and get my mind off of it, because I'll lay there at night twisting and turning and thinking, well, you know, if I had this compression and I had this much nitrous going into it, wonder what that would produce. And if I put these valves in it or this and that, like my brain never shuts off at this stuff. And
we went to a genius mind, man. Twirling around in there, man.
Sometimes it's a curse. And, you know, especially at night when you're trying to sleep 2 a.m. and you're like, well, if I put extra skating or this and that, but, we like to camp and we like to fish and we like to get out and do a little boating. And, I like to drag race. That's a lot of fun. I enjoy that the most. It's a good way to blow off steam and still be involved with motorcycles without the constant, I guess, like when I'm there, nothing else matters. I don't talk about business. I just talk about what I'm doing. I actually get to enjoy the motorcycles without having to feel like it's a lot of business, you know, and, I enjoy riding. This is what I do. It's a lot of fun and I don't get much free time with it. Traveling, fishing, camping. It's a lot of fun. And I actually, for once, got invited to a barbecue last weekend where nobody talked about motorcycles, even though they knew what I did. They were like, oh, cool. You know, like it was fun. It was family and nobody talked about it. I was like, oh, for once, holy shit. We had a conversation that did not rotate around me giving up information. Right. It was definitely a lot of fun. I hope to be doing more of that soon, but,
That's cool.
man,
that's cool, man. So where can people find you and follow along on your journey?
So on social media, at, you know, TikTok, Instagram at Kenny's House of Horsepower, on Facebook, check me out, Kenny McLain. It's Mean Street Cycles on there. By the end of August, we'll have transferred over completely to Mean Street Cycles. You know, we've got a big cartel store. We do put some stuff up for sale there here once in a while. You know, you can give me a call at 602-736-9176 if you want an engine build, street to strip performance. Pretty easy to find.
Man, dropping the digits. Nice.
Oddly enough,
we're gonna link all your we're gonna link all that information to the podcast so they can just click on and go directly to you.
Hell yeah, I appreciate that.
All right, brother, you ready? Hey, you ready for the speed round?
Let's do it.
All right, cool. All right, here's the deal. If you don't make the 2 minutes, you send us a whether it's a shop one or whatever you want to do, a signed photo saying to Surgeon Ben, One Gang Worldwide podcast, so we hang it back here in our office. Deal?
I'll just send you one of these anyways.
That's it. That's perfect.
Yeah.
You sign it and address it to us, and then we'll put a frame on it and hang it with the ones that we get.
Absolutely. I'll send you
All
one
right,
no
man.
matter what.
Ben, 2 minutes on the clock.
Let's do it.
Best Harley motor of all time.
Evolution.
Okay. If you can have dinner with one person, dead or alive, who would it be?
My mom.
Awesome answer, man. Deadline, late night build. Whose music are you blasting?
Oh, Hatebreed for sure.
Oh, man, you and Ben, you guys like the crazy shit. All right. 2, you'd cry over it if it ever went missing.
My torque wrench.
He's getting it for our audience listening. Damn, that's a hell of a torque wrench, bro.
Torque wrench.
That's like a torque wrench for Bigfoot.
Yeah.
All right.
650 foot-pounds.
Favorite motorcycle of all. Yeah, that's it. Favorite motorcycle of all time.
Oh, man. I'd have to say the Dreamsicle. That bike is just, you can't beat that bike.
That's a good choice. All right. Your go-to alcoholic beverage, and if you don't drink, what's your go-to snack?
I do not drink, and I do smoke weed though. And a favorite snack after I get the munch. Favorite, I'd have to say Haribo Gold Bears.
Okay, good.
All right.
All right. Old school carb or modern fuel injection?
Man, I used to be all about the carburetors, but I gotta say the fuel injection stuff is on point. So if you really want performance and power, you got to move to fuel injection.
You do, huh? Okay, interesting. All right. Craziest customer request you've ever had?
Can you build my engine but put all these used parts back in it and give me a warranty?
That's funny. That's so funny.
Well, I get that shit all the time.
Yeah, no problem. We'll give you 3-year unlimited mileage warranty on that.
Well, yeah, you get an out of sight warranty.
funny,
As soon as you're out of sight, you're fucking out of luck, buddy.
All right. That's funny. Something you're not a fan of when building motors, but just tend to be good at it.
Shit. That's a tough one. That's a really tough one.
It is. We can come back. We can come back. So it's not a big deal. Don't worry about that.
All right. Yeah, looking forward.
All right. Dyno runs, thrill or nervousness?
Oh, it's both. I fully expect some of these to blow up on the dyno, and then at Danny's, because I used Motor Witch Industries dyno several times, and I was always worried this shit was going to explode on the dyno and get it all soaked and oiled, right? So it was always a little bit of nervousness. But, once you pull a really good number out of it, it's a total thrill. It's a lot of fun.
Right. All right, great one. If you could build an engine for any person, who's getting it, and what engine are you building?
Man, shit.
Who's somebody that you admire that you'd love to build an engine for?
My friend Wayne from Hatebreed, the guitarist from Hatebreed, I would love to build him a nice twin cam engine.
Okay.
I've already built him a lot of parts. I am.
That's great, man. All right, good one. All right, biggest lesson a busted engine ever taught you?
Don't spray so much nitrous on them, especially when they're stock. Wow, you keep talking about that all the time where they got that Leonardo DiCaprio where he's holding the movie camera and it says, "Don't worry about spraying a 50 shot on a stock block." Yeah, that shits me totally. Let's put it on a stock block and see what happens.
That's so funny. All right, next one. If you weren't doing bikes, what trade would you be in?
Metal surface preparation. A lot of people don't know this, but my real passion is metal surface preparation. Laser cleaning, vapor honing, blasting, metal repair, aluminum repair, powder coating. We have a whole powder coat operation here, 2 vapor honing machines, laser cleaner. I enjoy doing that more than I build engines. Oddly enough, welding, things like that, clean up.
Okay.
I like to restore metal. I like to restore stuff. So that would be what I would do. If I stopped doing this, I would just do all the stuff around it. basically, and just do all the metal prep.
Got it. That's good, man. It's good to know. All right. Finish this sentence. When I'm on two wheels, I'm
not worried about anything except what's in front of me, and I don't have to think. All I have to do is react.
Yep. All right, good.
Cool.
3 words your customers would use to describe Mean Street Cycle.
Man, honesty, transparency, and quality.
Awesome, man. Great 3 words to describe. That's it, man. Well, listen, I gotta tell you, man, you finish at 2 minutes and 2 seconds. So that means we get the signed picture sent to us from you to hang here up in our office. And but in all sincerity, brother, man, it's been an incredible podcast for us to get to know you, man. You know, I called you a mad scientist because I watched the things that you do and the type of things that you get out of these engines. And if anybody listening to the show who might not be familiar with Kenny, follow this guy along, man. You'll be blown away by his skill sets. He's an absolute genius at what he does. We wish you nothing but success. And I'm sure we're going to run into each other throughout, man. So we're going to follow your journey along, brother. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on.
Thank you very much, Kenny. We appreciate you, man.
Heck yeah. Thank you for having me. It's an absolute honor. And I will definitely promote the show more and more. And, you know, I recommend, you know, checking out some of the smaller talent as well, like you have been doing. It's amazing. It really helps bring light to the community and the up and coming guys doing this. And there's a lot of good ones out there. If you ever get a chance, talk to my brother from another mother, Russell Lamprick down in Texas, the Grasshopper. That guy, man, he's like me. He's like, we fight a lot of adversity, you know, and we're drag racers. And we're the guys really doing this behind the scenes. We're doing a lot of this really intricate work, and we're not getting near the credit we should be. It's a lot, you know. Check him out. You'll love Russell. He's a lot of fun. He'll explain a lot of the stuff we all go through.
What I'm gonna do is, I mean, you and I, you know, we've exchanged numbers, so we gonna stay in touch anyway, regardless. But I'm gonna probably just ask you to give me a list of guys that you recommend. I'll reach out to them. Obviously, that's what Ben and I love, man. I mean, it's amazing to bring on guys like Brian Clark and Paul Yaffe and Dave Perowitz and these amazing names in our industry. But I love bringing guys like yourself on and Sean Jackson and these up and coming, unbelievable talents in our industry.
Yaffe's
that's cool.
He's been very good. He's been very good to me over the years. Paul's such a nice.
He's an Arizona guy. Yeah, Arizona guy by you. Yeah, he is. He's a super good guy. So
the
Kenny,
hamsters
thanks,
of all.
thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, brother. See ya.
Heck yeah, we'll catch you guys soon. Thanks again.